Hi, so I'm creating this video to demonstrate how our CDN caching is set up and also what was the problem faced by the customers in the last few days and the solution to it. So let us start. To start with, I'm going to use Nito publish production for this experiment. I'm choosing publish because it is running on a single dyno, and since it is a single dyno, all requests will come to that particular dyno itself. And if I put some files in that dyno's public folder, we'll be able to access it. If there are multiple dynos, then we'll have to go and put the file to all the dynos because request may be served by any one of them. So that is the reason for choosing publish. So let us start. I'm going to make a request. I'm going to make a asset request to a non-existent asset, 555.js. So this, as expected, is 404. It is hitting the origin, and origin doesn't have that file, so 404. So far this is good. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to create that file in the origin server. So here, 555.js, I created it. But you can see what happens. There are 404s. Sometimes it is 200. It is very intermittent. This is exactly the same situation the clients were having yesterday. When we try to request for the asset from that client's machine itself, sometimes we were getting the same chunk loading. After a while, it was not loading. So it was exactly the same case. Even now you can see that happening. It's intermittent 404. Now we have to find out who's responsible for this. So there are three players involved here. One is our origin server. And origin server, we clearly know, has the file here. There's no doubt about it. The file is present here. Second player on top of this is Cloudfront, the AWS CDN. And then on top of that, we have Cloudflare sitting. So Cloudflare, let us start from Cloudflare, the other end of the equation. So this is Nito publishes Cloudflare's DNS records. And here we can see CDN. So cdn.nitopublish.com is controlled by this. Cloudflare points cdn.nitopublish.com to this CloudFront distribution. So that is the DNS part. But here, this is the important part. We have turned on proxy. So once we turn on proxy for this particular domain, that means the traffic is not just pointed to this domain. On top of that, it flows through Cloudflare's internal systems, the caching, security, and all these things which we have here. The traffic flows through Cloudflare once we turn on the proxy. So right now, traffic flows through Cloudflare and then goes to CloudFront and then to our origin server. So to find out who the culprit is, we'll turn off things one by one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Cloudflare out of the equation. For that, I'm going to turn off this proxy. And let us see if there's any difference here. It is still intermittent, didn't change anything much. I'm going to do one more thing. So far the cache was on since the proxy was on. Cloudflare was caching it. So I'll go and clear the cache also. I'm going to purge the CDN cache of Cloudflare. Purged. This will take around 5 seconds. Okay. Now we can see the requests are all 200. So this tells us two things. One is the problem was with Cloudflare. Cloudflare was actually caching the 404 request, which a CDN is never supposed to do. But Cloudflare actually cached the 404 request. And it was not consistent. We saw sometimes it was returning 200 and sometimes it was returning the old cached 404. The second and more important thing here is this didn't get fixed even though I turned off the proxy. So according to the documentation or what we have understood so far, if we turn off proxy, then Cloudflare should act only as a DNS provider. It should not serve any content by itself from cache or anywhere else. But we saw that even though I turned off the proxy, it was still intermittently serving 404 by itself. Only when I purged Cloudflare's cache, it started returning 200. And this 200, now we can be sure that it is coming from CloudFront or from the origin server. So now we have to confirm that part. But so far, what we have understood is Cloudflare was the one giving us the cached 404 response. A CDN is never supposed to do that, but Cloudflare was doing it. And second point, I'm just reiterating, even though we turned off the proxy, still response were being served by Cloudflare from its cache, which it was not supposed to do. So now let us stop this request and let me make, yeah, now that we have turned off the proxy and we have cleared the Cloudflare cache, we can be sure that we should be reasonably sure that CloudFront and the origin server are only the two players that are involved. So now I'll make this request directly without the while loop first. And you can see, so curl minus I, this is a head request. It returns only the headers, response is 200. And you can see hit from CloudFront. Clear, and there is a age, which means the file is actually clearly coming from Cloudflare cache. No CloudFront, no, sorry, CloudFront cache, no Cloudflare involved. It's very clear. There are no, yeah, you can see CF cache status, which is the Cloudflare. It's a miss because we have turned it off. But this one, cache is hit, and there is an age, which clearly indicates that it is coming from the cache. Age is increased. So now, okay, I should have used 555.js. This is an old file, sorry. Still the same. You can see age 196 seconds, 200. Yeah, okay. Minus S wouldn't allow it to cache. So here we can see it's a hit from CloudFront now. So CloudFront is caching as expected. So now, just to prove that one more time, I'll just go and delete this file. So origin server doesn't have 555.js, and even then it is served because it is served from CloudFront. So now the perfect setup is working perfectly. So now what we have to do is to make as a solution, we have to make sure that the DNS records for CDN should have proxy turned off always. We should not turn it on at all. It should be turned off always. And then Cloudflare should be removed from the equation completely, at least theoretically. And once it is removed completely, we can be sure that CloudFront together with the origin server works as expected, as a CDN is supposed to work. But the catch here is, as you saw early, even though we turned off the proxy, Cloudflare still interfered sometimes. So that is the worry I have, but I think we should turn off, keep the CDN proxy turned off, and then try it out. If it works without any issues from here on, then we are good. But if at all we have any issue, then what we'll have to do is we might have to think of some other way to have this CDN record without involving Cloudflare, which is possible, but let's not worry about it right now. Let us just keep this off and clear the Cloudflare's cache once, and then just let CloudFront and Origin server work as expected. Yeah, and to answer Neeraj's question, if we turn off DNS, I mean, turn off the proxy, Neeraj is very right in that. Once you turn off the proxy, then all the DDoS attacks, protection, and all the security which Cloudflare gives us, that won't be active. But as Joseph pointed out, we are turning this off only for the CDN domain. The main domain star dot is still protected by Cloudflare. Only the CDN URLs won't have DDoS protection or any kind of protection. which generally is not a problem, but it can be a problem if people do a DDoS on top of it on using the CDN domain with non-existent files. If it is non-existent file request, then it won't hit the cache, it will directly go to the origin server. So that problem definitely is there. But it's not just Cloudflare that is protecting us now. We have protection, DDoS protections at the need to deploy level. So I think even though Cloudflare is not protecting us, protecting the CDN domain, need to deploy will still protect us. We should be good with that. I think we should not worry about it right now. But if any attack like that happens, then maybe we can worry about it. Should be okay. That's what I think. Thank you.